Welcome to Actors Are Born, the podcast that tells you the stories of the figures who defined an era. Today, we take you into the glittering and complex world of a woman who was, at the same time, the Queen of Hollywood and the princess of a real kingdom, Grace Kelly. Hers is a story that seems written by a screenwriter, an icy, magnetic beauty, a crystalline talent, a meeting with a prince, and a fairy tale life. But behind the perfect image was a determined, complex, and perhaps deep down, melancholic woman. Grace Patricia Kelly was born in Philadelphia in 1929 into a wealthy and ambitious family. Her father, John B. Kelly, was a former Olympic rowing champion who became a rich businessman. The family expected great things from their children, but not necessarily in the world of entertainment, which her father considered disreputable. Grace, however, was stubborn. Against her father's wishes, she moved to New York to study acting at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. To support herself, she worked as a model and took small parts on television. Her beauty was undeniable. Blonde hair, blue eyes, perfect features. But it was her aura of controlled, almost aristocratic elegance that made her unique. The film industry soon took notice. After a small role, she landed the part that launched her career. In 1952, she starred alongside a legend, Gary Cooper, in the western High Noon. Although her part was that of the sheriff's frightened young wife, her screen presence was undeniable. Hollywood had found a new star. The year that cemented her stardom was 1954. It was the year Grace Kelly became the ultimate muse for Alfred Hitchcock, the master of suspense. Hitchcock saw in her fire and ice, a woman with a cool, controlled exterior hiding a volcano of passion. Their first film together was Dial M for Murder. Here, Grace plays Margot, a wealthy heiress whose husband, a former tennis champion played by Ray Milland, decides to kill her for her fortune. The plot is a perfect clockwork mechanism. The husband hires a killer, but the plan goes wrong, and Grace finds herself fighting for her life in one of the most famous suspense scenes in cinema history. In the same year, perhaps their greatest masterpiece was released, Rear Window. Grace is Lisa Fremont, a sophisticated and incredibly smart high society woman engaged to photojournalist L.B. Jeff Jeffries, played by James Stewart. Confined to a wheelchair with a broken leg, Jeff spends his time spying on his neighbors, becoming convinced he has witnessed a murder. Lisa, initially skeptical, becomes his most courageous accomplice, transforming from a style icon into a true detective, sneaking into the suspect's apartment and risking everything. But Grace's career wasn't just about Hitchcock. Also in 1954, she stunned everyone with The Country Girl. Here, she shed her glamorous image to play Georgie Elgin, the weary and long-suffering husband of an alcoholic actor played by Bing Crosby. It is a dramatic, intense, and moving performance that earned her the most coveted award, the Oscar for Best Actress, snatching it from the favorite Judy Garland. With an Oscar in hand and the world at her feet, Grace Kelly's life was about to take a turn no one could have ever imagined. In 1955, while attending the Cannes Film Festival to promote her third film with Hitchcock, To Catch a Thief, shot on the French Riviera, a photo shoot was arranged for her with the sovereign of the small principality of Monaco, Prince Rainier III. That photo shoot was the beginning of everything. Rainier was smitten. A discreet but intense courtship by letter began. A few months later, the prince flew to America to ask for her hand. On April 19, 1956, the world stopped to witness the wedding of the century. Grace Kelly, the Queen of Hollywood, became Her Serene Highness Princess Grace of Monaco. Her wedding dress, a masterpiece of lace and silk gifted by Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, became a timeless style icon. But the fairy tale came at a price. By becoming a princess, Grace had to say goodbye to her career. Her last film was the musical High Society. She was required to leave the screen. In the Principality of Monaco, her films were even banned. It is said that Hitchcock offered her the lead role in Marnie, a complex and fascinating part she desperately wanted to play, but court duties and reasons of state won out. Her new life was dedicated to the principality and her family. She gave birth to 3 children, Caroline, Albert, and Stephanie. She committed herself to charitable work, became president of the Monegasque Red Cross, and promoted arts and culture, turning Monaco into a vibrant cultural center. And this is where one of the most famous curiosities about her was born. During her first pregnancy, she often used a Hermes bag to shield her growing belly from photographers. That handbag became so iconic that the French fashion house decided to officially rename it in her honor. The Kelly bag was born, still one of the most desired luxury accessories in the world today. Despite the perfect public life, close sources speak of a deep nostalgia for acting and of moments of loneliness. The princess who had everything perhaps missed the actress she was forced to leave behind. The fairy tale, as sometimes happens, ends in sudden tragedy. On September 13, 1982, while driving with her youngest daughter, Stephanie, Grace suffered a medical emergency, likely a stroke. She lost control of the car, which plunged down a hairpin turn on the same scenic road where she had filmed a scene for To Catch a Thief years earlier. Her condition was immediately critical. She died the following day at just 52 years old. The world was in shock. Her passing left an unfillable void, not only in Monaco, but in the hearts of all who had loved her on screen. Grace Kelly was much more than an actress or a princess. She was a symbol of timeless elegance, a style icon who continues to inspire fashion designers today. But she was also living proof that fairy tales can be complex, full of sacrifices, and that sometimes the ending is not what we expect. A bright star gone too soon, but whose light continues to shine. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you on the next episode of Actors Are Born.